Had a text with your teacher about the American flag. Can you tell me what that text was about? No, I want you to tell me what the text was about.
The American flag.
What about it?
That it was always the same.
Why wasn't it the same? Because you know. Why wasn't it the same?
It wasn't the same because that
So you were saying that at one point the flag looked one way, and at another point, thank you, baby, the flag looked another way, right? So how did it look the first time?
it had a tree on it.
It did? Okay.
With white and red.
A tree? All right. So sketch that over. Draw a quick sketch of the way it looked first.
And this now?
No, show me the first time it looked like what?
I thought you mean now.
Oh, so this is how it looks now. So explain to me how it looks now.
This is how it looks now.
Explain your picture.
So it has 46 stars. And they have 7 red stars and 6 white stars.
Did you forget? Okay. All right. Tell me about how it looked the first time.
This is how it looked the first time. It had a pineapple tree right here with a box right here and lines right here.
Okay. So you were supposed to write about our American flag, right?
Yes.
And you just had to give some facts about the American flag. So the first sentence that you wrote at school was what?
The American flag wasn't always the same.
Okay, so I want you to write that sentence on the next page. And remember your spacing and make sure you stretch out your words.
Didn't look the same.
You remember. Good job. You put final E at the end. Now, when you wrote this with your teacher, that was the only sentence that you had. But we know that we have to elaborate, right? We have to tell why. So, why didn't the American flag look the same? So you might want to, just like you sketched over here, you showed us how it first looked and then how it changed. What was the first way that the American flag looked?
So I had a tree on it and a
Look at your sketch.
lines on it.
Lines. Can we call those lines stripes?
Stripes
Right.
on it.
So how many stripes did you tell me it had? Do you remember? Yeah, I thought you told me 7. No, 52. I was telling you about the other flag that I knew about. Yeah, well, this one here, you told me this one had 7.
This one is talking.
Okay, so we're talking about the first one first because if we want to compare, we want to put it in order. So we want to talk about the first flag first. So the first flag had a tree and how many stripes you said?
7.
And 7 stripes. So that's what we want to write. So go ahead and put your idea of how that second flag looked. Remember, we talked about when we're writing, we want to always go back and check our writing to make sure it's making sense. So let's start there. What does that say?
The different.
Different? Is that word? Okay, so let's chunk that word out. First chunk that we hear. Let's pound it out. Ready? Different. 3 syllable parts, right? So my first syllable is diff. Diff. Diff or diff? Which one?
Diff.
Okay, so how do you spell that? So d or d if. Which one?
Diff.
So maybe erase that whole word and then we'll put it in there. Okay.
Okay.
All right. What do we have? So what's the first part? Oh, you had different. Okay. Go ahead. So let's just only do the first syllable. What's the first syllable we hear in different?
D.
Syllable. Pound it out. No, pound it out. Ready? Diff. Come on. The whole. We're gonna diff. So that's what we're trying to stretch out right now. D.
It.
Very good. Now we learned the rule that after that short vowel sound, if we have F.
F.
Very good. Okay. Now we have differ. What do we hear there? We already have that.
R.
What's our last part? Differ.
It. And.
Stretch it out.
And.
Come on, you gotta erase that part, man. If you ran into it, don't look at me. You know how to solve your problem, friend. No, erase flag and move it over because you're running out of room. All right, so now you have the E. Put the E back. What's the last part of different?
T.
All right, so we can copy the same word here because that was the same. No, hold up. Why did you erase that? The American flag didn't. Isn't that the word you had there? Didn't? Didn't
Yeah.
like. Oh, is that how you spell look? You told me didn't like the same or didn't look the same.
Look.
How do you spell look?
First flag was different. It had 7 red stripes and a tree and 6 white stripes.
All right. So now we have to talk about the second flag. Okay. So what can you tell us about the second flag?